It's going to happen today. You'll be in the middle of something completely unrelated, driving, showering, about to fall asleep, and suddenly, without warning, your brain will play it back. Something you said 5 years ago that came out wrong. A moment at a party where you tripped and everyone saw. The email you sent to the wrong person. The joke that landed in silence. You'll feel your face get warm. You'll make a sound, a groan, a wince, maybe out loud, maybe just inside. And then you'll wonder, as you have wondered 100 times before, why is my brain doing this? You don't choose to replay these moments. You would never choose this. Nobody sits down and thinks, you know what I want to think about right now? That thing I said in 2017 that still makes me want to disappear. And yet your brain keeps going back, not to good memories, not to achievements or moments of genuine joy, to the embarrassments, the mistakes, the moments where you felt most exposed. There is a reason for this, and once you understand it, the memories won't stop coming, but the way you feel about them will change completely. Your brain does not store memories equally. This is the first thing most people don't know. Memory is not a recording. It is not a hard drive that captures everything with equal fidelity. It is a selective system designed not to preserve your life, but to help you survive it. In 1994, neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux at New York University published research identifying a structure deep in the brain called the amygdala as the brain's emotional alarm system. The amygdala processes emotional events, particularly threatening or painful ones, and sends a signal to the memory system to pay special attention to what just happened. The signal essentially says, "This moment matters. Remember this." And the stronger the emotional response, the stronger the memory. This is why you can remember exactly where you were when something terrible happened, but cannot remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago. Your brain is not interested in lunch. Your brain is interested in anything that generated a significant emotional response. And embarrassment, genuine social embarrassment, generates one of the strongest emotional responses the human brain produces. Here is the part that explains everything. Humans are social animals, not metaphorically, biologically, neurologically. The human brain evolved in small tribal groups where social standing was not a preference. It was survival. Being accepted by your group meant food, protection, reproduction, and life. Being rejected meant the opposite. In a world where group membership was the difference between living and dying, social evaluation was the single most important variable a human brain had to track, more important than physical danger in many circumstances, because a broken leg healed. Social rejection could be permanent. This is why your brain built a dedicated threat detection system specifically for social situations. Researchers call it the social pain network. And brain imaging studies from the early 2000s by Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA showed something extraordinary. The same neural regions that process physical pain, the actual sensation of being hurt, activate when a person experiences social rejection or public humiliation. Your brain does not distinguish between the pain of a burn and the pain of public embarrassment at the neurological level. They register the same way, which means embarrassment is not a mild inconvenience your brain is overreacting to. It is registering a genuine threat, and it is recording that threat so that you never let it happen again. But that still does not explain why the memories keep coming back years later, why they resurface unbidden, why the brain keeps replaying something that is long over. In the 1920s, a Soviet psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik noticed something strange while sitting in a Vienna cafe. The waiters could remember every detail of orders they had not yet delivered. But the moment an order was completed, delivered, paid for, finished, the details disappeared from memory almost immediately. She tested this in her laboratory and discovered what is now called the Zygarnik effect. The brain preferentially rehearses unresolved situations. Completed tasks are filed away and forgotten. Unfinished ones are kept active until the brain considers them resolved. And here is the problem with embarrassing memories. They never feel resolved. You cannot go back and unsay the wrong thing. You cannot retroactively recover the moment where you stumbled. The social threat that the memory represents, the evidence that you once failed publicly, remains open, unresolved, and so the brain keeps returning to it, not to torture you, to solve it. Every time the memory surfaces, your brain is running the same calculation it ran the first time. The replay is a problem-solving attempt. The brain is trying to close a loop that, by the nature of the past, can never actually be closed. There is one more piece, and this one is perhaps the most important. In 2000, Thomas Gilovich and colleagues at Cornell University identified something they called the spotlight effect. They dressed participants in embarrassing t-shirts featuring an unflattering image and sent them into a room full of people. Participants consistently believed that roughly half the people in the room had noticed and remembered the shirt. The actual number, verified by questioning the observers afterward, was closer to 25%. We believe we are observed far more than we actually are. The embarrassing moment that lives rent-free in your head, the one you have replayed hundreds of times, exists almost entirely in your own memory. The people who witnessed it have forgotten. They were thinking about their own lives, their own worries, their own version of the same replay happening in their own heads. The audience you perform your embarrassment for over and over in the theater of your own mind was never really watching. So here is what is actually happening when that memory surfaces tonight. Your brain is doing its job, imperfectly, painfully, but according to a system that kept your ancestors alive in a world where social standing was everything. It is flagging a social threat, trying to resolve an unfinished situation, protecting you from repeating a moment it classified as dangerous, even though the danger passed years ago. The memory is not evidence that you are uniquely broken or uniquely embarrassing. It is evidence that you have a human brain. Researchers have found that the single most effective way to reduce the frequency and intensity of these replays is not suppression. Trying not to think about them makes them worse. It is self-compassion, treating the memory the way you would treat a friend describing the same moment, with understanding, with proportion, with the reminder that the audience was never as large as it felt. You are not the only person lying awake at 2 a.m. replaying something that happened in 2016. Every human brain is running the same loop right now in houses and apartments and rooms all over the world, all of them convinced they are the only one